Hi guys, welcome back to another wrap up, and we are wrapping up March. Is it just me, or has March flown by? Like, you blink twice and it's now April. Like, I could have sworn 2 weeks ago it was January. Is that just me, or do y'all feel the same way? But I'm gonna go over my monthly wrap up, what I read in March, what shows I watched, and just, I guess, overall reflection. So grab yourself a drink, get cozy, and let's get into it. Okay, so this month I read 4 books. I feel like that is like my number. I feel like overall my reading has been kind of slow, but also normal, I should say. I know that I have a tendency, like, once I finish a book, I have a tendency to take breaks within the books so I can, like, have a fresh start sometimes. But sometimes throughout the break, I'll just spread it out, so I, like, procrastinate to start reading. So who knows? Sorry about the noise. I am outside and it's nice outside, so you might hear the birds. But as I was saying, I read 4 books, and one of them was a nonfiction, but I'll go in chronological order in how I finished. So first up, I read With This Ring by Amy Clipston. It is a second chance retelling. Well, not retelling. It's a second chance romance, and we were following Dakota, who is a bridal shop owner, and what's his name? And Hudson, who is a CEO, I guess now billionaire, and they get back together essentially because Hudson's little sister is getting married, but he went back down to their small town because his little sister is getting married only after being with her boyfriend for 3 months, and he's like, you're rushing it and stuff like that. I honestly this book really frustrated me. Now, it is a Christian romance, but that's not the problem. The problem was the dynamic between the two love interests. Like, the reason why they broke up was honestly because of a miscommunication, and that was so annoying. And also the fact that because of that miscommunication, I'm like, y'all shouldn't even be back together again, because y'all obviously can't communicate, and it was shown throughout the book, like, their communication skills were not necessarily there. And I feel like the book also paid more attention to the little sister rather than the two main characters. So that's my thoughts. But if you read this book, let me know if you have the same thoughts as well. And also, I have a tendency to, after when I read a book, I would go on to Goodreads and look at the comments to see if other people have the same opinions as me, and I definitely read some but the same. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. So let me know if you guys are the same way. And second up is Between Life and Death by Jaclyn. This was, I guess, supposed to be a Hades and Persephone inspired book, which I guess I can see it, but we are in a world of magic where magic users, or the cursed ones, are hunted down by the kingdom, and we were following Sage, who is cursed, or she has magic, but one day her brother was, I guess, told to be in the military for the king, and she wants to free him, and in that process she meets Vaughn. I guess he was a part of the cursed rebels leader, so to say, but there is more to him than what meets the eye. And he helped Sage go save her brother and stuff like that. I did touch on this book a little bit on one of my past vlogs, so I do mention that a little bit more in detail there. But I actually pretty much, I was actually really intrigued with this book. This was, like, there was a lot of adventure, there was more things happening, but towards the end, there was a lot happening, things went left, and then a lot of plot twists were happening, and then you get left off of the cliffhanger. So I think that this is definitely the first book, but they're about like 4 books within the series. But I am iffy about if I want to continue on reading. I think I might pick up the second book, but I would have to see if I want to continue on with the 3rd and 4th book after reading the second book. So, 3rd book is Mariposa by Lexi Axelson, and I also touched on this book right in the same vlog as I was talking about Between Life and Death, but this is about Violet, who is going into the military, and at first she was with her boyfriend, but her boyfriend broke up with her while dropping her off to go to basic training. And once she's in basic training, she meets her ex-boyfriend's dad, and he is her instructor to go through basic in order to get into like the special ops team. And she starts developing feelings for Cade, which is her ex-boyfriend's dad, and he starts developing feelings for her. But oh my gosh, the dynamic just throws me off. First is student teacher for a little bit, which I don't necessarily do student teacher, I just don't. Second, another dynamic that I'm just like, ugh, is that's your, like, that's somebody's dad. Like, that's not just somebody's dad, that's your ex-boyfriend's dad. Like, you're going for his daddy. And then third, I feel like it's just a really big age gap. Now, I don't mind age gap unless it's like over like 10 years probably. And this one was definitely over 10 years. This is a 17-year age gap. But I don't know. But other than that, it was good, but it was kind of choppy towards the end. I was happy to see that we go into like the actual scenes of what can possibly happen into the military and the missions that they go on, and also the mental state that could possibly happen, like, because going into the military is not like all rainbows and sunshines and roses and stuff like that. So but yeah, I think that this is the first book in a series, so I'm definitely intrigued about the second book. Hopefully the second book isn't like too drastic, like student-teacher relationship or like parent ex's daughter relationship. That's just, yeah. So but this book is also definitely spicy, same as last book, same as Between Life and Death, spicy. But I feel like Mariposa is definitely spicier. Definitely read the trigger warnings, definitely read the content warnings, definitely 18 plus. Just in case anybody comes across my channel and was like, oh, Vandy told me. No, I didn't. 18 plus. But last book is The Power of Language by Viorica Marian. Hopefully I pronounced everybody's name correctly, but this was my nonfiction of the month, and I am on a journey of better learning a language, and I just want to better myself on how I can, I don't know, help myself learn a language more efficiently, more effectively. And I feel like this book was definitely helpful. And also how our minds compute languages, how we code, the way that we think. It goes over like native languages, it goes over artificial languages. And I really enjoyed this book and for a nonfiction, and I honestly really want to buy this book and have it into my collection, because I really wanted to mark this book up, but I couldn't because it's a library book. But yeah. But are you guys on a language learning journey as well? If so, what language are you learning? I'm currently learning French, but I really want to learn Korean next. But in order to like prep myself, I want to have the mindset so I can add another language into my, I guess, repertoire. So, but that was all the books that I've read for the month. So I guess now we can go into the shows that I've watched. And I watched a couple more K-dramas and a couple more C-dramas, but I'm just going to share some of the ones that really stood out to me. So, yeah. First up was Spring Forever. This one was so good. I really enjoyed it. This is a K-drama, and I think it was going over like a teacher and a parent. Well, he's a parent, but technically he's the uncle. And there was a situation that the teacher was in her past school, so now she moved to like a little into the country and started teaching out of school temporarily. So, and then they have the dynamic between the uncle and the teacher. I wish there was more to the story, but I mean, towards the end, especially when she wins her court case from her situation from her old school. Up next is Welcome to Samdal-ri. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that town correctly. And that is another K-drama, and it takes place in Jeju Island, where we are following a photographer who was framed for doing, I think she was framed because she was framed for mistreating her employee, but she didn't. It was actually her employee was doing some sketchy things and even cheated, even went behind her boss's back and got with her boyfriend. So our main character went back home to Jeju Island and basically trying to hide out and basically find herself in the midst of that debacle as well. And she also falls back in love with her childhood best friend. And I actually like him. He's so good. He actually is so caring about her family, and because her family is his family, they grew up together. And what's funny is his tantrums, honestly, and the friend group. Because essentially they all, well, almost all of them went to Seoul, but then as they failed, they went back home. So she was hesitant about going back home because she didn't want to be seen as a failure. But yeah, but that was pretty much it. But that was a good show. I had so many laughs, and it was just so good. Up next is Shine On Me, and this is a C-drama, and do I remember the premise? This is over our main character who just graduated from college, and she was applying and she got a job at this one company. And oh, there was some messiness within her friend group because she had a crush on this one boy, but her roommate also had a crush on him, and she did some sneaky situations to where she was kind of ousted in the friend group, but she was proven right. But the relationship between her and the guy in the friend group was on the rocks, and we're still on the rocks. And so she moves on, you know, after college and goes to her job, and she meets her new friends. But then her boss comes in and they start like having connections. They start, I guess, I don't know, just starting having developing feelings for each other. But also, he is the grandson of the CEO, but she, our main character, our main female lead, is the daughter of the CEO of the same like conglomerate of like group of the company. Like they are like stakeholders, I think. So they kind of already have an idea of each other. So I don't know, but I love the dynamic of the two of them, and how she was very ambitious, and how she just, I don't know, just went for it and put everything. She's very what's the word? She was very ambitious, and I like to see the ambition with and passion she puts into her work, and she wants to like see things thrive, and you know do a good job at her job. So I like that. And then let's see. Oh, I then watched the new K-drama, Boyfriend on Demand, and that actually has Jisoo from Blackpink as the main female lead. And then we also see a lot of famous K-drama actors, and there was even Jay Park making cameos in that as well. I think our main female lead had broken up with her boyfriend, and she was very much so in, I guess, intertwined with her work. Her work is her life. She was very busy, and she didn't really have any time to date. But her job is like it's like a webtoon producer, and so she was very busy with that. But at her job, she met with like I guess a company that does like the Boyfriend on Demand game, and they wanted her to try it out for like, I think like 30 days or 60 days or something like that, to get her honest feedback. And she was definitely sucked into the world, and I guess had her dates and stuff like that. But also her co-worker, she sees him as his competition, but he has a crush on her. But I think he was very shy. So she was juggling the fact that she was having all these dates and having boyfriends in this AI world or virtual reality, and also navigating the real world and her like work lifestyle and stuff like that. So it was actually pretty good. It was decent. It wasn't my favorite, but it was decent, I would say. And then last show that I'm going to be mentioning is Pursuit of Jade. This C-drama was so good. I literally just finished it last night. So good. We were following our female main lead, who was at first a butcher, and she was doing her job, and then whilst going home from doing a job, she finds this man almost dying in the snow, but she saves him and takes him back home and saves his life. And then in the midst of that, her uncle wanted to take her house away from her because she is a female, and I guess back then women couldn't really own property unless like you were a guy. And in order for her to save her house, she had to get married. So our main lead asked the guy that she saved, she asked him to marry her, and he agreed. So now he is a live-in husband, but he has a mysterious background of himself that she doesn't know, and he is actually the Marquis. It was just so good. The yearning that they had between the two of them, the friendships that they had, the dynamic that he has with her little sister. It was just so good. The yearning that he had for her. The way that he just stared at her, I'm just like, yeah, just go ahead and kiss her. Just go ahead and kiss her, because yes. But I would say, did y'all feel like the ending was kind of not, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of off the beaten track a little bit? Like, I wish there was a little bit more to it. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but like at the end, they said that they had 2 kids. Like, but we didn't see the kids. Like, I wish we would have seen the kids, but oh well. But those were all the shows that I've watched. I feel like, out of the C-dramas and K-dramas, I feel like C-dramas are winning with me right now. I feel like K-dramas are good, but I feel like the C-dramas are it's just a little bit more. But that's just me. That's what I feel like. But I think that there are more K-dramas that are coming out that I am interested in. But I don't know if I'll get to them. But now that the shows are over, I guess I can share some of my reflections just overall for the month. And first one being, I still did not start Cozy Conversations. I feel like I came to the realization that I'm just not going to go on Instagram. I think I'm just going to do everything on YouTube. So I'll just post them on YouTube Shorts. So hopefully I can start filming Cozy Conversations. And yeah, I'm just going to keep everything, because I don't post on Instagram. And I feel like Instagram's a whole nother beast, and I just don't want to do that quite yet. And second thing is, I still haven't done that well with cooking. I got the cookbooks, I just haven't made anything from the cookbooks for this month, and that is bad. But I think I need to continue on doing that. I need to at least try at least one recipe from a cookbook, or find more cookbooks that kind of match with what I'm looking for or want to try. I don't know, but I need to do that because I need to figure it out. But it's all in balance, I should say. But I also want to build up my cooking skills and build up the repertoire, so I need to get it together. And let's see. I guess a positive for this month is that I feel like I've been getting better with my editing for YouTube videos. I know I'm not the best, but I feel like I'm slowly but surely getting better with each video that comes out. And I am finding my rhythm with how I want my editing, how I want my videos to be, and the style that I kind of want to go with. So yeah, I feel like I'm finding my rhythm, and I'm learning new things as I go. And I don't know, hopefully I'll get to the point where I can try like cinematic vlogs. I can try, I don't know, just different styles and see what clicks. But I don't know, I just like being myself, and I like making videos because I get to look back on them, and as I'm editing, I crack myself up because sometimes it's just the things that comes out of my mouth. I'm just like, I know I didn't just say that. But I don't know, and it just makes it fun because I make myself laugh, and sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I enjoy bringing myself joy. So if I can do that, I am golden. So, I don't know. And I guess last thing is that overall this month was good, but it just went by really fast. I don't know what time is doing, but everything is just going by so fast. But making the best out of everything though, and yeah. But I think that's it for like my overall thoughts. So I guess we can wrap up this wrap up. But this month was pretty good, but let me know what you've read, how many books you've read this month, what shows you've watched this month that stood out to you guys. Yeah, definitely let me know in the comments. I want to have a conversation with you guys. And hopefully next month I can read more books, but no rush, no pressure or anything. Just going with the flow. We'll see where I end up, but who knows. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay cozy, stay reading. Bye guys.